How's it going, retro people? My name is Brad, this is Retro Style Spotlight, and this is your news, notes, history, and retro games to play for the week of July 19th, 2016. Last week's tutorial was a feature-specific tutorial on how the new image priority system works within Launchbox and how you can utilize this to fill in more gaps left by games with no proper front box art. A premium-only feature, this lets you customize the look of Launchbox in a way that was previously not possible without a lot of extra work from the users. Update your version of Launchbox to the latest if you haven't already, and grab a premium license to make sure you're ready to use the feature. In Bizarro World, Nintendo has announced a new console, which is the NES. Yes, that's right, Nintendo is re-releasing the NES in a new and updated fashion, albeit a fraction of the size. The small new console is small enough to fit in the palm of your hand, outputs in HDMI, has two USB ports on the front that can utilize brand new Nintendo packaged USB NES controllers, or you can utilize your controllers from your Wii and Wii U. Packed with 30 or so games, you can't supply your own ROMs or even utilize your own carts from your actual NES, but what this does do, however, is create a great entry point for users who remember Nintendo fondly and want to explore back a bit. This does even hold a little bit of value if the list of games is something that strikes your fancy, and I will say that some of these games weren't really re-released commonly, or the original carts can go for a decent amount of money. So if you want a retro game and the feeling of sitting down to a real console, but without taking up all that space for real hardware, and still want it to be an official product, well, then here you go. Speaking of Nintendo, I have previously covered the Nintendo PlayStation here on this channel in a previous RSS episode. Recent developments, however, have been really awesome for this piece of hardware. It was recently broken down by noted tech guru Ben Heckendorn on the Ben Heck Show on YouTube, and the BIOS were even put online for everyone to marvel in amazement at. Well, someone decided to use the release of the BIOS to create an awesome tongue-in-cheek beat-em-up game called Super Boss Gaiden. For those who don't know what Homebrew is, it is essentially a game developed by usually one person and put onto a home console unofficially by means of a modded console. Once a console has been hacked and modded, usually an SDK comes about so users can either unofficially port certain applications, programs, games, or even create their own games on hardware that would have otherwise never gotten such software. While not running on real hardware, given some hacking, this theoretically could. This is happening in part due to emulation, but it is cool nonetheless. The game is very tongue-in-cheek and poking fun at the entire situation surrounding the Nintendo PlayStation, and it seems to be fairly fun. The trailer for this has been playing, and it does look pretty cool, with lots of Nintendo and Sony nods strewn about. Click the link below for instructions on the emulator to grab and how to get this running. Rest assured, I might even stream this game or put something up about it on my channel in the near future. There are a few consoles out there that are notoriously very tricky when it comes to their hardware and software, so much so that it has affected even trying to emulate and preserve the consoles on the internet. The Atari Jaguar and the Nintendo 64 spring to mind first, but probably the most notoriously poorly emulated console out there right now might be the Sega Saturn. Well, today, now we can say that those woes may be no more. James Laird Waugh, better known as Professor or Dr. Abrasive, and I apologize if I butchered your name a little bit, has created a plug-in flash cart for the Sega Saturn. I've previously talked about flash carts or EverDrives in the past, and this is a similar enough concept. The creator first started to work on this in 2013 when he found out about the fabled sound chip inside of the Saturn. Now, the Saturn has technically been cracked in the past, and there are ways to run unsigned code on the console, but the methods are either long dead or very costly on the original hardware and your wallet, and in some cases, ruining that hardware. The new flash cart, known as the Satisfier, is still in development, but this really opens up some new avenues for the Sega Saturn. This could easily renew a community in figuring out and blowing the hardware wide open. This could open up great possibilities for Homebrew like in the previous story, and this could seriously help in the emulation venture. Emulation is extremely hard for the console as it used code, hardware, and methods that were obscure even back then when the console was created, and only got more and more obscure as time went on. Where the Dreamcast was so easy that game backups and piracy may be the single biggest factor into Sega ceasing console production, along with other mismanages granted, The Sega Saturn has been super tricky and has gone underdeveloped because of it. There's a video about the whole endeavor in one of the links below about this topic, and I suggest users watch this and check it out if this is something that interests you greatly. This month in 2003, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic was released to the world. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is a role-playing video game developed by BioWare and published by LucasArts. Written by Drew Karpyshyn, the soundtrack for the game was composed by Jeremy Soule. It was released for the Xbox on July 15th, 2003, for Windows on November 19th, 2003, on September 7th, 2004 for Mac OS X, and on May 30th, 2013 for iOS, which was later updated on December 19th, 2013 for iPhones, and on December 23rd, 2014 on the Google Play Store for Android devices. The Xbox version is playable on 360 via the latter's backwards compatibility feature. Players choose from 3 basic character classes at the beginning of the game and later choose from 3 Jedi subclasses. Beyond class, a character has skill stats, tiered feats, and later on, tiered force powers similar to magic spells in fantasy games. Feats and force powers are unlocked every level up, while the player is given skill points to distribute among their skills every level. The story takes place approximately 4,000 years before the rise of the Galactic Empire. Former Jedi Darth Malak, a Dark Lord of the Sith and Darth Revan's former apprentice, has unleashed a Sith armada against the Republic. Malak's aggression has left the Jedi scattered and vulnerable. Many Jedi Knights have fallen in battle, and others have sworn allegiance to Malak. So that was Retro Style Spotlight for the week of July 19th, 2016. All the relevant links to everything you heard in this edition of RSS will be in the description below. Remember, you can sign up for a Launchbox forum account, talk with us over there. If Launchbox has given you a beautiful library of games, then why not purchase a premium license of Launchbox for $20 to access Big Box, which is a controller and couch-oriented version of Launchbox. We also have our Launchbox games database now available for users to contribute to. If you have a few favorite games that are lacking in metadata or media, head on over to the games page on the database and make your desired edits or add the game yourself. Jason and I have a lot planned for our community, so if you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, we're doing a tutorial video every Friday and more entertainment type shows like this in the future, like live development sessions. Let us know what you think of RSS and any feedback you may have on it. My name is Brad, the link to my channel is in the description below. I do lots of gaming content, and remember, freaks and geeks, to play more games, and we'll see you next time. Have a good day!